Day one of Patriots Minicamp is in the books, and we've got the good, the bad, and the ugly for you. I'm Alex Barth. He is Evan Lazar. This is the FOXBORO Report, powered by betonline.ag. Visit clnsmedia.com/win today and use the promo code CLNS50 for 50% cash back. Evan, we'll start with the good. Give me one player that exceeded your expectations today.
I think everybody's going to read about Braxton Berrios after the day that he had here. He had probably the catch of the day down the right sideline behind us here, laying out on the sideline to catch that ball. But really, it was mainly just he was getting open. You know, he was creating separation, and he was getting himself open, getting him into positions where he could make catches, catching the ball with his arms extended. I talked to him, and he said that he's really taking a rookie mentality. He feels like a rookie for the most part. He said, there's some more, familiarity with the playbook and stuff like that helps him, but for the most part, this is year one for him after the injury last year pretty much took away his entire rookie season. So we'll see what happens. He's improving on everything. He gave me all the Patriot answers in terms of what he was looking to get better at, but I think that the biggest thing is that he's taking a rookie mentality. He knows there's no guarantee that he's going to make this roster.
For me, I liked Michael Bennett, and it's just seeing him in person. You don't realize on TV how big he is. Yeah. You see how quick he is, but not how big. And when you see his actual size with his speed up close, I was impressed. I was kind of blown away with what I saw from him. How about one player who didn't live up to what you thought you'd see?
Well, I wouldn't say, that there was any player that I was like out on completely or anything like that, but there were certainly some notable guys that were getting, let's call them second team reps or not really running with the starters. And I think that starts with Derek Rivers. He can't get himself off of kind of like the second or third string right now. He's not practicing against Tom Brady at the moment. He's practicing against Danny Etling and Brian Hoyer and Jared Stidham when they get into these practice sessions. So I think that a lot of those types of guys, in terms of just playing time and where they're playing on the hierarchy, it's not looking too great right now for Derek Rivers. Landon Roberts is another guy that was practicing with kind of the threes and the fours, not bode well for his standing. Guys like Jamie Collins, Juwan Bentley, those guys are getting snaps with the ones, with the starters against Brady, Edelman, those types of guys, and it's not looking that way right now for Rivers and for Landon Roberts.
So I will say, you mentioned Jared Stidham. For me, he was better today than he was at OTAs, and there were some questions marks about him at OTAs, but he's still clearly a project. He's still pretty far along. So that's kind of the one that stuck out to me today.
I keep on saying that it's going to be a long uphill battle for him to beat out Brian Hoyer for this team. It's not just the mental stuff, it's the accuracy too. The ball kind of flutters on him a little bit, and he can really lose control of his accuracy, especially down the field. And also you can just tell that his command of the huddle and his command of the offense, things are not happening fast enough, right? The ball's not coming out on time quite yet. He's throwing a couple of, INT-able passes. He threw a couple of interceptions in OTAs a few weeks ago. Today, I think he kept them all in the right hands, but there were some that were behind receivers or not quite on time. Defensive guys got their hands on. So it's going to be an uphill battle for Stidham. I just don't see how he's going to be the backup this year.
And one thing that surprised you, one thing that you weren't expecting to be talking about today when we get to this point that now we have to talk about.
Well, I think that it really is kind of another guy that stood out, and I keep on being so impressed by Maurice Harris. I mean, he's just a guy that I've heard a lot about his practice, kind of how good of a practice player he's been in the past. That has certainly come here to New England, at least for the two practice sessions that we've seen. He's big, he's fast, he's got good hands, he's versatile. They can line him up inside or outside. He's a guy that looks like a natural. Like when you step on the football field, especially in these glorified passing camps, there's no contact. There's certain guys that just athletic ability, size, speed, that kind of stuff just pops, and he's just one of those guys.
So I'll go with actually a drill that we saw today that was kind of a surprise for me. I knew the Patriots did this. It was just kind of cool to see it in person when at one point they brought the quarterbacks over and they had a cooler that was just full of water with footballs in it, and the quarterbacks had to throw the wet footballs on screen passes. That was kind of cool to see.
Yeah, Brian Hoyer got pretty pissed off at one of them because the ball was literally like drenched in water and it was waterlogged, and he threw it out to the flat and it was just like a dead duck out there, and it wasn't like his fault, the ball is just completely drenched.
But that's why they run those drills.
Yeah, but he was like, you got to give me a little bit more leeway than what you gave me here, I think was the joke. And it's crazy. We're in June. It's really the first day of mandatory practice practices, and here we are, Bill Belichick already with the situational football. They're practicing ball security early on in practice. Even the quarterbacks were running through some ball security drills. Obviously, the water-logged balls is kind of a ball security thing as well. It's crazy how we're already starting on that. A lot of these other teams are just trying to figure out who's going to make the roster. Belichick's already practicing. Like, he's already ready to go.
For more on Minicamp, you can check out Evan's notebook at CLNSmedia.com, and all of our Foxborough reports are up on CLNSmedia.com and on the CLNS YouTube page. This edition of the Foxborough Report has been brought to you by BetOnline.ag. Visit CLNSmedia.com/win today and use the promo code CLNS50 for 50% cash back. For Evan Lazar, I'm Alex Barth for the Foxborough Report. Thanks for watching.